my God, I don't know about everybody else, but Tally, it is so hot on the West Coast right now. It is. I went out to lunch today. I left my studio to go to lunch. It was 108 degrees with like 25% humidity. Now, for those of you that are familiar with humid climates, which most of you in the central part of the country, if you're near a river or near a lake and you get those severe humidity, we are not used to that. So like you'll get 85-degree heat with high humidity, which feels hot. Imagine your stove is 115 degrees with like a boiler in the oven door, kind of like boiling steam out. I mean, like Tally's melting as I'm telling the story. I can tell she's just, it's hot. It is hot.
Messing up my dice. It's fine, baby.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I've got mixed emotions about tonight. I've got mixed emotions about tonight because, you know, we started this journey together so long ago, and I feel like I was, you know, I was going back and looking at session 1 notes, you know, and thinking about how everyone came together at in Nicodranus, and then the decision. Yeah, that's a lot of notes. That's a lot of notes. Coming together, the journey. I love, my favorite part about the campaign so far was the fact that everybody just, I don't know, it's like the choices you made, it seemed like it took forever to get to the Shattered Isles. There was like so many cool things to do. Like there were so many fun choices to make. Like this saving Gnomeworks without even realizing that was an option, or the weird kind of behavior of this entity, this person called Mason, and stumbling across these divine interlocking roadways on, you know, within the underdwell of the Gnomework community. Eventually being on the back of an ancient dead dragon turtle that kind of began the journey and understanding of the different beacons, and finally realizing the beacons representing the celestial 9 deities and how those beacons represented the closing of the celestial gates. Mason's obsession with finding and controlling a beacon for his own purposes of bringing Strahd's fortress back into existence by manipulating Wuthia into thinking that looking for her hereditary title was somehow the reason why he had teamed up with her. But where are we now? Where have we been? And where are we going? The team had landed on the shoulders of the Titan. When Wuthia cast the void eclipse down below her to make it more difficult for the team to do battle with her, shattering everything around her, the team found themselves struggling at first, but then so much time spent together began to kind of be obvious. Reading each other's thoughts, moving with skill and practiced ease, using spells, and finally almost cornering Wuthia to a point. But once she realized she couldn't beat you at that moment, the Citadel of Strahd, brought in by Mason through the manipulation of one of the empty beacons that he had recovered. Although he was not successful in gaining access to the Blood Vault room, and therefore allowing him to control the vast undead armies of the Shadowfell, courtesy of Give No Fucks. Or is it just the fucks?
Just the
fucks? Yeah, it's just the fucks.
The friends on... well, hang on. I rewrote it down. I forgot all the name. We had a whole damn name for it.
We did. We took an entire session.
Yeah.
It's, the friends under common kindred sales. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
This was a really critical session that I missed.
It's what happened when Xanath is not there.
We were just painting the name on the side of the boat. That's all.
Right? Ryan or Xanath, are you sure Ryan knows what he's getting into?
Yeah, he'll find out.
Oh, I love that. You know what? Deep end of the pool, close your eyes and just throw that kid in the deep end of the pool. I love it. That's such a D&D response. I love it. Defeating Wuthia became less important once Mason's arrival into the material plane. The consumption of the Phalans is what produced the amount of magic and energy required to unfurl this plant of Withia's. Unbeknownst to her, Mason had never intended to keep his promise. This played out as fearing his arrival as a way to challenge her own intentions on what to do within the world of Exandria. Withia went up to confront him and polymorphed herself into an ancient red dragon form to defend herself. Unfortunately, she fell in battle, while Mason seemed to be prosecuting this kind of dimensional lightning strike that was absorbing Shadowfell energy and causing these cataclysmic lightning bolts to kind of striate out into the material plane, absorbing magic, then reusing it, absorbing magic, and then reusing it. But Puck, ever the vigilant choice maker that she is, found a very rare and obscure spell. She descended down into the void, placed her hand on the massive boulders that make up the shoulder of the Titan, and convinced the Titan to change its mind. At first, this proved nearly fatal to the Titan, or maybe it was fatal to the Titan, but immediately its response was to hurl a massive mountainside boulder up into the remains of the Strahd Citadel, coming through the Shadowfell gateway. The sudden destruction of the Citadel, fracturing it, bringing its towers down, also afforded Puck and Spot an opportunity to delve down into the base of this structure to try to locate the last remaining magic that was keeping this place together and keeping it aloft up in the sky. Finding the Keystone Gate, destroying the Keystone Gate, unleashing the lightning and arcane energy that held this citadel aloft up in the high skies, being completely undone. While Earthen held his own, Xanath supporting all of her friends, Spot, seeing an opportunity, leapt up towards and struck directly at Mason, grabbing him firmly with a sudden point-blank strike of flame. But more importantly, Spot, as the battle rages around you, you hold with both hands onto Mason. The cloud of smoke that he's in begins to clear, blood trickling from his altered self, his whirring gearwork kind of grinding, and you just he just kind of gutturally laughs at you. But as you hold him and the smoke clears, you can see Earthen and Xanath. You can see Puck behind you. The Citadel falling away below you. But then a shadow crosses all of you. As a mountain-sized Titan hand comes careening out of the sky from behind where you're holding Mason, Spot. As you hold him, an entire mountain range is coming right towards you as the Titan is swinging its huge, massive hands and arms to bring down the remains of this massive, broken, falling apart citadel. What do you want to do, Spot?
Let me pull up my...
There
is a thing that I want to plan. I just want to make sure I have enough key to do it. So give me 1 second to find it.
Technically, right now, we're out of initiative. This is going to be a group effort to survive what is clearly the Titan's interaction after getting Puck's response on what it could do next.
All right. I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can, and try to literally just throw Mason in between its fingers or into its open palm, and then either duck down or fly up and trust my agility to get me out of there fast enough.
Fair enough. Earthen, you could see the small silhouette of Spot holding on to the limp and dying form of Mason as this mile-long arm and hand is arcing up into the skyline to slam into the Citadel. What would you like to do?
I'm going to fly towards Xanth because she was knocked out at the end of the last bit of the fight.
She was, yeah. She's currently unconscious.
Yeah, and I'm gonna fly over to her and burn my last 5th level spell slot for a mass cure wounds.
Okay.
So that's 3d8 plus 5. Let me pull my d8.
Buck, in your new fire elemental form and your shadow pseudo dragon in its fire elemental form alongside you, the two of you hover in between, caught between Earthen making his way and flying towards Xanth to help her get recovered. The sight of Spot taking Mason and chucking him into the approaching hand as Mason's eyes go wide with fear and regret, watching the Citadel collapse from below. What does Puck do at this moment?
So here's a question that I don't think we ever really got an answer on. Can I go back to being Puck, or is that body burnt out?
You tried. We did get an answer on that. Currently, you are what you are after invoking the stone. You are a fire elemental.
Okay. I'm gonna go into base with Mason as well and just try to... Actually, so the keystone is destroyed.
Correct. And keep in mind, you just saw a Spot throw Mason's barely living form into the approaching massive hand of the Titan. You get the feeling that Spot's intent is to have Mason just be obliterated by the Titan's attempt at smashing the remainder of the floating Citadel.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna be on with Spot on this. I'm just gonna rush into it from the other end so it can't go forward. So Mason can't go forward and try to burn him from the front, crush him from the back.
Spot, as you go dancing, like the first part of the hand is the thumb, and you start dancing across the thumb after chucking Mason's body towards the hand of the Titan. And you start making your way up and around and trying to avoid the hand as it's kind of descending down. You then watch as a streak of dual flame, two small flaming figures, kind of just roar past you. They slam into Mason's retreating form that's been thrown into the hand of the Titan, forcing him quickly back, and all three figures just explode into the hand itself. Earthen, you make your way over to Xanth. Xanth, your eyes pop open as you feel kind of like the healing effect of Earthen's familiar spell. You and Earthen are watching as there's a flaming explosion within the hand of the Titan, and you can see the small silhouette of Spot like dancing through the debris pile as the hand is now slowly descending down towards the remains of the cathedral, or the remains of the Citadel.
One thing I did want to verify though, just because I know, are all of us? Do we all still have wings? I wonder from Xanth's communing with.
Oh yeah.
I just want to make sure that didn't go away when she was knocked unconscious or whatever.
Oh no. That was a
moment
Helen of divinity. So yeah.
I do love that we're not just level 20, we're level 20 with wings, which is cooler.
So true. So epic. But Earth and you and Xanth are now watching as this hand is beginning to slowly come down to destroy the remains of the Citadel.
we have to stop this thing. I mean, if Mason was controlling it, no one's controlling it now.
We restored it to its original alliance, and it's
well, you told them
I
that you
don't.
restored it to its original alignment. Unfortunately, Puck has just hurtled herself and Lunch into the body of Mason, and there was an explosion in the hand itself. So Puck's not technically there right now. But you're correct, Tally. From an out-of-character perspective, we do know that the alignment of the creature shifted to something other than a direct threat, and it had responded to Puck's plea to no longer, be a threat based on what Puck thought the creature was doing.
And
But
we have a mental link from Erebos, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So
Yeah, no, we did communicate that, I recall.
okay.
Correct.
We don't know what its alignment is. We just know that
It's been
It's not-
restored.
it's
Yeah,
not
that's been
evil
kind of like,
necessarily.
It's
But
not
it's-
intent on destroying the world anymore. That much we know.
And I don't speak elemental.
And meanwhile, within the debris field of this already coming apart citadel, the airships kind of amidst the battle of all the shadow figures, people in the initial vicinity suddenly found themselves with wings, but they're busy going after other ships where people are spilling out of those ships to go and catch them before they fall into the Lucidian Sea. It's this kind of chaotic maelstrom of just this final kind of end to this Titan about to just utterly destroy the remains of the cathedral.
Am I within range to receive 20 HP as well?
I think
You are not, unfortunately.
Okay.
So we still need to figure out the Blood Vault, Dominion's amulet, and that person that we unwittingly led into that space. Doesn't seem like we'd be able to question Mason about it, but if he's
That's
not dead,
fine.
then maybe.
There's a lot of tally going on here.
I don't know.
I'm gonna start flying towards the explosion. Now that Xanth's okay, I'm flying towards the explosion and
Okay.
by default the Titan. Everybody cast detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts on.
On the type.
Well, first just kind of to probe out there. Can I sense people out there besides the Titan?
Yeah, I mean you're limited in range on detect thoughts. I mean it's you're kind of limited.
I'll wait till I get closer to it, but yeah.
Okay.
Because we saw the fireball and all that, so we're just flying towards that.
Xanath, are you following Earthen at this point?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Since you're reasonably recovered?
Yeah.
The two of you start soaring in the direction of where you saw Puck's elemental form slam into the flat form of the Titan's hand. It's just this unmovable object that's collapsing down towards the citadel. And there you can see the unconscious form being held aloft by Lunch. And even Lunch looks pretty bedraggled. But was once a fire elemental, it's now Puck's limp and unconscious body that Lunch is holding on to. Against the hand that's still slowly moving is the obliterated kind of outline of Mason. His skull half embedded in the rock, his chest kind of sprayed up against the charred surface of the rock surface. You watch as a foot just kind of dangles and falls away down into the emptiness down below.
I'm gonna go collect the skull.
I'll cast Mass Cure Wounds.
Okay.
It's gonna be 3d8 plus 5.
Puck is still
5.
not awake after you cast it. Puck is not breathing. Puck's
I died
eyes
again.
are rolled back in her head. Puck is not responding.
Like, she's not breathing like she's dead, or she's just unresponsive?
It looks like she's dead.
Okay, well, the mass cure wounds was 16 points.
Okay, Spot, Earthen, both getting that.
Let me do a revivify on Puck.
Okay.
So I attempt to revivify her.
What's the spell duration on that one? Instant?
One action. Yeah.
One action. Okay. You kind of fly over to where Lunch is, and seeing her not respond, at least she's not an elemental anymore. However, in the center of her chest, where it's burnt through her armor, you can see the stone, the flaming stone that she had invoked. And it's very dim, and it fades the moment you get over there as her chest stops rising, she stops breathing. You place your hand on her forehead, and you reach out the helm, and you cast Revivify into her, and you watch as her eyes slowly open.
Ugh.
Oh my god, thank you.
Are you
I can't say that enough, thank you.
Puck, you have 1 hit point.
More than I deserve.
I'll cast Cure Wounds on her.
Thanks.
That's 16 points.
Oh my god, thank you.
Earthen, while that's going on, you're watching Spot get clear of the hand up above you. You get up to where the fractured piece of the metal and fleshy skull is sliding down like the rock face of the hand. What do you do?
Oh, I'm grabbing the skull. I'm taking the skull.
You reach out, and
I'm
grab
like,
it. You've got a hold of it.
holding. It's in the bag for now until
Okay.
we get clear of all this stuff.
Okay. Spot, you're now up above looking down. You can see the massive, like each finger is a peak of, like the peak of a mountain. And you're up and above and watching his hand descend down towards the citadel. You watch as Earthen, Xanath, Puck, and Lunch kind of fly around to avoid this hand. You guys watch as the hand descends below you into the remains of the floating portion of the citadel. And when it slams into it, there's this huge like percussion and kind of explosion that just kind of echoes out in a 360 degrees series of like kinetic explosions. You watch as entire swarms of shadow creatures get enveloped by the explosion, shredded instantly. You watch as airships that make up the fleet of your allies that had come in to help start boiling over and careening away from the destruction. You then watch as huge pieces of the remains of the citadel slowly landing in the water. You see 1,000-foot high peaks of water just like spraying up in the air as the chaos of the scene is now just water, debris, falling rock and other things. And you watch as this Titan begins to kind of walk deeper into the Lucidian Sea. As you watch it leave and the debris field begins to kind of spread and settle around you, the phantom visage of Erebos oops.
He's in here somewhere.
I swear he's in here somewhere.
Also, did one of us
there he
grab
is.
Mason's dead body?
I got what was
Well,
left
there
of
wasn't
it.
much of it
Got the
left,
skull.
unfortunately, but Earthen did get the skull. You watch as the outline of Erebos hovers in amongst all of you. Watching the receding Titan, the collapse of the debris of the citadel, you notice that Erebos is holding somebody's body. Erebos looks at the four of you, What do I do with her? And there you see him holding Withia's remains.
Give them to me.
Holds her, floats over to where you are, sets her into your arms. And you put her in the bag of holding?
Yep.
Right into the bag of holding.
3 bodies in the bag of holding now. Or three former, at least.
The formerly alive, yes.
The chaos of the scene is beginning to unfurl. The shattered remains of the Citadel sinking below the surface down below. Maybe a dozen airships surviving the battle begin to even out. They fly about, go down to the waterline, pick up retrieving people. You also can see down in the water, you can see other ships that maybe arrived during the midst of the battle. But for now, things seem to be surprisingly calm.
Oh no.
What do you guys want to do?
Spot wants to fly down to the to sea level and try to assist in the rescue efforts of the survivors. Just running across the surface of the sea, just plucking people out and like just trying to toss them onto anything that they can find that's floating, or if there's boats that are out there, also plucking survivors out, just kind of throwing them in there.
Not only do you do that, but as you're doing it, you see someone else doing the exact same thing. As you see a familiar wiry Luxodon kind of following you in step. Like, and at one point she's like, take those over there. I'll stick with these. We'll meet you in the middle. And you just, the two of you with other monks that had survived are out amongst the detritus of the ocean, just putting people on floating pieces of wood or floating remains of a ship. And you could see what maybe might have been dozens or hundreds lost to the battle. People are, burbling to the surface. Winged entities that seem to be still under the blessing of Helm are flying down and dropping people onto ships to give them the ability to recover. Meanwhile, a particular vessel kind of floats down in between Puck and Xanath and Earthen, while Spot has gone down below to be with his monk brethren. And there goes Earthen. One of the things I like about StreamYard doesn't break your cameras when people leave. It's like so freaking awesome that it does that. What button did you hit?
The X. I was trying to click back over.
Button.
I went over to I tabbed over to my my spells, and I was tabbing back. I hit the X. I was like, ah!
I love it. But you watch as the familiar elven airship that Winter had originally been using throughout the battle now hovers near Earthen, Xanath, and Puck, and they're very happy and smiling. Winter, like cuts, blood kind of coursing from a cut on her forehead. She's breathing heavy from exhaustion. You can see Sibo is sitting and just covered in sweat and exhaustion from the battle. A handful of dead bodies of the crew of the Voik kind of littering the surface of the ship. But Winter has the elven pilot course the ship up in between the three of you. Well, that was fun. Let's not do that again. And she immediately runs over and grabs Puck by the shoulders and just gives her a big old hug. And just kind of gives her that big salty kind of like sobbing hug. Sibo comes over to kind of look at Earthen and Xanath. She looks at you both, kind of gives you the nod, right? Well, that was invigorating. But I agree with Winter. Let's not do that shit again. That was terrifying.
Sibo, I have spoken to the Bright Queen's sister. She agreed to help us if she is let out of her prison. would you talk to the Bright Queen and let her out? I think we could use her assistance. I think we could use anybody's assistance.
We have been reaching out to all the powers that be after the call had gone out. I have to be honest with you. The Bright Queen is the one that supplied most of these airships. She was already involved many weeks ago. Once we knew what the veiled threat was to the Feywild, we immediately sought out Singorn as well as the Kryn dynasty to help us counter the threat. Unfortunately, we were too late before Withia had found what she was looking for to summon the power of the Fey and bring that Titan into existence. What we didn't understand was what that citadel was. Where did that come from? Who's responsible for that?
I reach into the bag and pull out the skull.
Yeah, you could put it away. I was thinking something more mundane, like a simple explanation. Words, not visuals, Earthen. That's disgusting.
I don't really know how he did it, but he did it. Put it back in the bag.
Well, he clearly had more plans than what we just stopped him from doing then. What are we missing? Is there something else out there that we've missed?
We never found the blood vault.
Blood vault?
Yes.
Isn't that originally what Withia called what she was looking for?
That's what she called her supposed bank in Nicodranas, yeah.
Is it possible that Mason lied to her?
Well, there is one other piece that we're missing. In a minor illusion, the pendant that we saw, that we know that the other girl was looking for, that had the Eye of Dominion in it.
That's like who are we talking about?
That's that was what was cast into the well to create the blood vault.
Wait, I thought that was what was inside the blood vault.
Yeah, it was a well, and they dropped that in to create the blood vault.
Dang. Well, how do we get there?
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there was a person that was left behind in the blood vault, right?
Well,
do we remember who was left behind in the blood vault?
We revivified who we thought was with you, but maybe wasn't with you. It was another person.
Yeah.
But then I thought we killed her.
No, we plane shifted and she didn't show up.
But I thought, is this not the person that spotted the quivering paw?
I think that was the one that I did my 5-point paw exploding heart technique on.
I'm waiting for Earthen and check.
It was the brunette. Well, she said she was. Oh, I mean, we do have what's her face, Tilly.
Oh,
Tilly is. Yeah, where is Tilly?
Tilly fought with the Voik, but you don't see her around anywhere.
Shit.
Who can we ask for guidance?
So what are we worried about? There's this blood vault that we just don't really understand.
Wanderman.
I guess it's the reason we were brought here originally, and it seems to be the thing all the bad guys are after, including... Are there any bad guys we haven't killed?
I mean, as far as you know, Mason is now destroyed. Withia's body is in the bag of holding. The Titan has been repelled from its intended purpose. The massive citadel up in the sky destroyed. The keystone that bound the magic of Strahd's ancient castle and edifice that was used to bring it back together and held aloft. The Shadowfell retreats even as you stand here, talking with Winter and Sibo. You can see the shadow creatures kind of like just fading back to where they came from. But you can also hear the soft laments and elves like kind of congratulating each other on surviving the battle and kind of, realizing that for those that are from the Fae, home and hearth is gone. The Fae itself, completely gone.
And there were under the Titan, when we first landed on the Titan, I think there were lots of undead or some kind of weird creatures under the Titan. Were those the shadow creatures that kind of faded away?
Yeah, those were all part of those are all part of Mason's attempt to unbind the Shadowfell, but he never found the Blood Vault, so he couldn't take possession of all of Strahd's power.
I suppose we could ask either Mason or Withia if what they know about the Blood Vault. I don't know how much they tell us.
Or if they lie.
Yeah. It feels like Withia is a better bet than Mason.
Do you guys recall who was secretly hidden in a cave near the...
Oh, yeah.
What's her face? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Manaleaf.
Also, the other guy, the guy who's been...
The one that might or might not be
nemesis.
murdered by her.
Yeah, it's the woman that we were like, oh, maybe we'll save you, and then we didn't.
Here we are.
She was working for that one fascist wizard.
Yeah.
Fascist wizard.
Thornbrook, Alara?
Yeah, Alara Thornbrook.
Thornbrook.
Yeah. And she had promised to meet you guys halfway during the initial search and the realization of the Keystone and the Blood Vault. And when you guys had made it to the Keystone and realized that the medallion was being placed in the Blood Vault, and then you plane shifted, after the quivering palm effect that Spot had put on her, her eyes opened and she began to sit up just as you plane shifted.
Yep. But she disappeared because we plane shifted in.
As far as you know, she's still in the Blood Vault, wherever that was.
Go off with us, yeah.
Well, one spell
Do we
that
think the Blood Vault is in the Citadel, which is now under the water?
I can go down there and find out.
Yeah, I can help.
Should we take a short rest? Get some hit points?
Spot's just sitting there, exhausted after coming back from saving all these people that needed saving. And their Luxodon companion is with them as well. She doesn't look like she's broke a sweat. She's just kind of sitting there with her Luxodon stoicism, looking around, kind of nodding. Just another afternoon. Everything's fine.
Unbelievable.
Who's that?
Hey, this is my mentor. How the fuck do you do this? This was exhausting. God,
Wait, you don't need to breathe. How are you out of breath?
Arthur, shut the fuck up.
Are cats like dogs that they only they don't sweat, they just pant to get rid of
I just pulled a few dozen people. I'm soaking wet. Do you have any idea how miserable this is for me? I was on what? I pulled people out of it. I don't need to deal with you right now, Earthen.
So you're gonna introduce us more than just that's your old boss?
I just want to look at Yellow John, she's a full 2 feet taller than me. She's just like, can I please? Just any verbal or non-verbal cue, just go over there and just do my normal, just smack him upside the head with my tail.
Who do you think's faster, Spot's tail or her trunk?
Ooh.
Definitely her trunk.
She's
At level
much more
20?
experienced than
I'm totally down to watch that.
Maybe let's wait with that a little bit. Okay. My only concern is every time we take a rest, it seems like bad things happen. Which is, it would be nice if somebody else could deal with the evil stuff while we just get our shit together for a sec. But
Then we wouldn't need the fucks.
I'm just saying, I got like 4 spell slots left, and I got 36 hit points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work.
I
got more than 4 spell
slots.
slots.
So yeah, I'm there with you.
Okay, then let's decide that we can Zebo start taking us to the location we need to be in while we take a nap.
Hey, if you want to take a short rest, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely short rest.
So at that point, Sibo and Winter are kind of in the midst of recovering the deck of the ship, getting people organized. The last of the airships are off down below. Other vessels are down below, kind of recovering those from the battle that just took place. But Winter guides the Elven pilot to take the airship down into the water. You watch as the ship kind of goes through a very minor transformation as it lands in the water. A center mast kind of arcing in a curve upwards with the sail unfurling as it goes from being an airship to a waterborne vessel. And the side catamaran-like pontoons kind of jut out of the side to give it more balance because Elven ships are a bit more sleek. But now that you're down here in the waterline, Earthen, you can see all the Voik vessels of all the different clans are down here as well. They're busy either kind of recovering people from the water or tending to their own wounded, trying to see who's still left alive. But as Winter's vessel kind of cuts through the waterline and heads over in the direction of only one of the citadel rocks that didn't actually sink all the way into the water, which tells you it's probably a very large remain of the citadel, is like slightly jutting out of the water, like maybe 400 feet of it, like a finger of rock is just out of the water, which tells you that down below, I mean, it could be many thousand feet down below as well. What's going on with the Midwest, man? Everybody's getting kicked out. Or everyone's hitting the X button.
Not X. I think I can. I was trying to pay something in there, and I hit a hotkey that my.
I got hotkeyed out.
Yeah, then I hit function X or something stupid.
As we approach, like I would have walked up to the prow of the ship just to watch, to kind of signal to the Void because I'm still wearing the crown. I put that on when I tried to call Erebos in to join us in the fight.
Yeah.
But so I'll kind of stand on the prow of the ship and feign directions to the Void to keep doing things.
Yeah, like a handful of them that see you up on the prow, like recognize you. They kind of wave back at you, and you start pointing in different directions, and the different Void ships start going around. The big chunk of island rock that's jutting out of the water, and they're trying to recover themselves. Their formations are coming back together. You can see like lots of injured Voik on the decks of ships. You can see the ball eater is down here as well, helping kind of recover. You could see the silhouette of Ford and Jester kind of commanding their crew to kind of like participate. You watch as the orange Cheshire cat hand of wow, you call that a mental fart. What is Caleb, who is like skimming the surface of the water looking for survivors as well. No sign
Puck,
of Erebos.
You can call him over, Puck, if you wanna call.
No, but I do know that before this is over, I will throw a pee balloon on him. That will be the end. That is my secondary goal.
So as we come up on the finger of what's left of the citadel,
and like the boats in the water, and there's like fractured rock kind of. They'll give you some footholds and handholds to be able to go up to the top, or if you want, you could just kind of float up towards the top in your flying form.
Yeah, I can fly. I'm gonna cast detect magic though. I'm gonna pull out the lute and start playing to detect magic, just to kind of keep it up as we start going in to try and get a direction of where to go once we approach.
Okay.
So I have a few items, and I want people's suggestions on what to do with if they are relevant at all. I think, like Earthen just suggested, I have the map that might help us find the location. I also still have the Erebos coin, although he seems to be pretty attuned to us. And I don't know if that's at all relevant, but I still have the coin of awareness if we need to reach outside of our own world. So that's my 3 cards, I think. That and the spell of locate object that I'm saving for when we are within reach with the pendant thing.
How wide is the range for locate object?
1,000 feet, I think. I know that for her to use the map to find things, it's got a greater range to it for sure.
Maybe I can combine them somehow. The locate object, grab the name of the object. Yeah, 1,000 feet.
Okay.
And if it's in motion, you know the direction of its movement.
Okay.
Very low on spell slots, so I don't know how many
Do
times.
you, can you do any more of that primeval stuff and see if there's anything else? Or is that are they equally?
No, I can do a primeval awareness. The only thing about
primeval awareness actually gives you celestial as well, correct?
yeah, no, it does. It's the only thing about it is that it can only do one type of thing at a time. So but if celestial is like the preference, then I can do a celestial. Okay.
Leave that up to you. I was just trying to remember all the different things that primeval awareness could.
It feels important now, so I kind of want to do that.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't remember if it was one and done, or like with paladins, they have that ability for like 4 different things, for their awareness ability that they have. So I couldn't remember for sure what it was.
Okay, so I'll pull out the map of revelation, and I'll try to do primeval awareness.
Okay.
And hope that it helps me with it. And are we settled on? I can do it more than once, but it will probably take time. But are we settled on celestial, or is there like a different one that you would like me to do, like an undead?
I mean, the vault. What's his face? The eyeball guy. The minion. Sorry, was the minion is a demigod, right?
Kind of. That's been expressed as a demigod. Yeah. Primordial.
If we were going to try to look for his, amulet, you would think it would have some of his power tied to it, right?
That makes sense. And again, if we do want to talk to the minion, technically I can risk a lot of things and try to.
I don't want to talk to him at all.
But it feels like a bad idea.
If you really want to go back to that guy,
No, I haven't learned any lessons. It's only been 2 years. I'm gonna make the same mistake. I can feel it.
You're gonna go back to that guy that used you like that.
Thanks.
Tried to kill
I
you.
used him too. I was very manipulative and very cunning. I'm not very
He was
smart.
very manipulative and very cunning.
No, that's
And
what
you
think.
absorbed the soul of a fish guy.
I did. It's been a lot.
He made you do bad things, not good things.
Well, the fish guy deserved to. Whatever. we don't need to that.
Of course, that was pre-Divinity Earthen. Post-Divinity Earthen, I don't know. Would he really feel that way?
Would you, sir?
I mean,
we can have a philosophy club after we've
Right?
Earthen still does not want to kill people out. Like, normally, he's not actively trying to kill stuff.
Xantha's like excitedly trying to pencil in like philosophy club to talk about.
And at the top of her journal it says, after saving the world.
Yes.
Task 1. Philosophy Club. Pass 2. Pose for statues.
Yeah.
Pass 3.
Pose for new statue.
Ooh.
Yes. So I'm gonna use map of awareness, map of the map, and also primeval awareness towards celestials.
Okay. With your detect magic kind of permeating from your loot, Earthen, you guys and you're kind of flying around the edge of the boat and the rock to kind of get some idea of maybe there's a magic, maybe a magical nexus or a magical point within what you're working on. Buck, you unfurl the map and begin to focus on your primeval awareness, and you particularly focus on celestial. Deep in the very center of the rock formation is a being of pure divinity. You can feel its divine energy pouring out from it. Almost like something in the middle of this rock is just there. But it feels divine. It feels divinity. It feels like an awareness of magic that was the opposite of that feeling that you had with that betrayer god that was trapped in the underdwelled gnomeworks. It felt different than that. It felt the opposite. You didn't feel scared. You didn't feel frightened. You felt kind of at peace.
I'm gonna tell Xanath about this because she would probably have a better attunement to divinity. And I'll try to just focus on like the direction that we need to go in and how to get there the fastest.
Can I feel anything, or based on her description, can I try to figure out what I think this might be?
Give me a religion check as she describes it to you.
All right. That is a 17.
I mean, she's describing a pretty profound amount of divine power. The fact that she can like pick up on its celestial existence. You're not entirely sure what it means, but it could mean that it's a holy place. It's a holy relic. It could be an avatar of a holy relic. It could be something related to the gods themselves, but it feels like it might be important to figure out what this is.
I don't really know what that could be, but it feels like maybe not a god itself, but something holy, something important.
I'm gonna try and like reach out to Erebos because he connected us all with that telepathy, and ask him if he feels anything over here as well.
Erebos kind of floats over to where you guys are kind of sitting and standing and kind of doing everything that you're doing. Whatever's in there, it's more powerful than I am. It is shrouded in divine energy. It is hidden from my eye. Whatever's in there is more powerful than my father ever was.
Okay.
Oh no.
In we go. I mean, we all got like a good short rest there, right?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I did not expend that much, at least as far as my magic went. So I've got a few things left in pocket. So
Yeah. I'm all key based and I'm topped up. So yeah.
All right.
ooh, I got all my inspiration
So
back
many
too. So.
dice. I think like maybe I've possibly never rolled this before.
Oh yeah, the roll for HP back on a
Yeah.
on a short rest. Yeah, that's why I was picking out my
After
D8
all
rolls.
these years, right? After that is absolutely hysterical.
I had to use a lot more D8s than I thought I would because the -1, the Constitution and all.
Wait, didn't it work?
Oh, you click those off, but then you have to roll them to get your stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh,
a
roll
reference
it.
of how many you're
At least it
using.
actually rolls it for you now. Before they patched that, it used to be it wouldn't even roll.
well,
Oh, it's not rolling now.
Not rolling.
Like, you just have to go through and actually tell it to, or give it how many.
Earth, and as all this is going on, Erebos guides you towards, like he floats up towards you and kind of guides you away from the others. I believe my journey here is done. Whatever's in there is not meant for me. I suspect it's meant for you and your friends. I don't know if we'll meet again, Earthen, but wear that crown with pride. Lead the Voik. Show them a different path than the one that I know you saw.
I will.
Perpetual war is not a cure, my friend.
Peace it is. I hold out my arm.
His very effervescent hand never really makes contact with you, as he's unable to kind of interact with corporeal form, but he kind of mimics it. There's for the very first time, Erebos gives you a slight smile.
Come a long way since covered in those worms.
Yes.
Let's
Coming
not do
up,
that
well,
again.
No, definitely not. But you and your friends, I owe so much to them. Don't be so hard on Zenith, Earthen. What her and Puck did for my brother was an act of mercy. Who knows? After I'm done visiting my brother, maybe we'll go home to Dominion. Challenge our father. Get his love back to us. See if we can't rumble caves of an old primordial god so that they could see the error of their ways. And if he's lost to madness, so be it. I don't believe you'll see me again.
Before you go, would you emblazon your signet on my breastplate?
You watch as this little arc of energy out of his finger and you see the signet is the Erebos signet, but behind it, 5 figures, silhouetted figures of a tabaxi, a gnome, a sea elf, an Alardian, and a human. But shadowed, so you can't quite make out what they are. And then emblazoned in front of it is Erebos's and the slight Dominion cloudscape underneath Erebos's signet. You are truly a Scion. And you watch as Erebos's image just fades out.
I kind of look at just the landscape where he was for a minute, give it a nod, and turn back around to everyone else. We are the Dragon Clan. And Erebos showed us our patron. What do you say we go find out what's in here?
Let's go kick some ass. Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you still? We gotta fight something. Come on. It was nice. But yeah, I'm psyched up for sure. So, like with that kind of burst of confidence, I'm gonna go first into the tower, into the finger, what's left of it, the finger of rocks, kind of wherever the crevice to get down inside to start figuring out how to get down to our.
There doesn't appear to be any visible entrance. Scouring over the map, spending an hour scouring this rock that's protruding up out of the sea, there appears to be no direct access to this divine energy. Almost as if maybe it's buried deep in the core of the rock itself. Spot, you feel a hand on your arm. It's your Lucidian mentor. You did well today.
Spot just kind of like, just got like absolute like, anime senpai just like.
Oh.
Or sorry, anime kohai. A weed back.
She looks at you, her head tilted, kind of giving you the look of someone that has finally kind of like earned the respect. Not that you've always been demanding, but that you've always known is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yellen puts her trunk around your shoulders and pulls you in for a very soft kind of like embrace.
Aww.
And then she releases you and places a dojo marker in your hand. And it's the one that you trained at.
Aww.
When you're done, Spot, the dojo needs a new master. I think it's time for me to find other paths and journeys. It's time for me to pass on what you've obviously earned. I don't want this knowledge going to waste. Spot, your wandering is done. Time to go home. And she like steps away while you're holding the dojo marker, which is tells anyone who you are when you present it to any monk anywhere across Alexandria that's familiar with the understanding of monk hierarchy and what their expectations are. You watch as about a dozen monks that are still left on board the air vessel immediately follow her bow as all the monks bow towards you. And you watch as Yellen addresses the monks that are there. Journeys are not always known to us. But when a journey is made, it's memories and friendships that bring those journeys together. Spot has proven yet once again that regardless of what hand you come from, what belief or dojo that you attain, the ultimate purpose is the wandering of a spirit, and then that spirit bringing so many together. Master Spot, I pass the responsibility of the way to you. The students are yours. The vision is yours.
I'm actually going to just kind of like look at the marker in their hand and then just kind of like very meekly kind of put it back. Just like, I understand and I appreciate the trust you place in me, but that is not my path. I'm going back to where I came from, yes. But I think my destiny is to rebuild the temples that are there, begin with my own students. I can't express how thankful I am for this trust you placed in me, but I everything I learned on the road that brought me here. I studied almost nothing in a monastery. I don't know how to run one. perhaps in a dozen years, something like that. But until then,
I understand. Then perhaps this would be more useful to you. And she takes back the marker of the dojo that she gave you and hands you a blank one, a blank marker.
yes.
And as she hands you the blank marker, write your own journey, Spots. She leans in, her huge ears kind of brushing up against you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be interesting still.
She gives you a hug and gathers up the other monks. They hop onto another nearby ship and begin to just kind of continue doing what the other monks and Voiks are doing to recover people.
Just out of character for a second, you timed that perfectly because my two boys were sitting over there practicing kung fu on their cat tree.
I wondered what had you distracted. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That is hysterical.
I think I have a way to get us into here. But it's going to be weird. Everything's all weird.
What is it?
I'm polymorphing myself into a bullet. And gonna like mole us down, but I'll need somebody to guide me because bullets are not super intelligent.
I can do that.
So
you guys watch as Earthen begins, like all of you kind of fly up to the top of the flattest part of the rock, and you watch as Earthen turns into a bullet, and this huge, large, heavily armored creature takes its huge, sharp, like pointed snout, raises it, slams it into the rock, and then begins to just kind of almost fast burrow into the rock. Huge chunks of rock are flying up behind it. I would imagine there's Puck like riding behind the plate of the front of the head of the bullet, and she's just holding on and like using her speak with animal skills. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. No, don't go there. It's it's like she's guiding it while the two of you, Xanath and Spot, kind of are just slowly kind of following down as Earthen is digging deeper and faster and clearing away rock and debris as the bullet is like taking you guys deeper and deeper and deeper into the rock. Until you hit a section of hardened rock that stalls you for a moment, Earthen, and your limited intelligence tells you that it's just another challenge. You rear back and your head slams into it. And as you do, a massive cracking sound, almost like a geode crack, like a hollow sound. You watch as the pieces fall away, as everyone else gathers around. Earthen's kind of like stomping at the ground, but Puck is doing her thing to keep him from going feral. You're looking into the blood chamber. There's a figure standing, leaning on a staff, wearing robes of purple, yellow, and gold, long white and silver hair flowing down their form. A strange kind of like divine glow of energy oscillating around the person as he stands, as they stand in front of this carnal pit of blood that is just kind of boiling and oozing in front of him. And you hear this gentle but elderly voice.
Nothing.
Are you going to stand there looking at me, or would you be so kind as to join me?
Just look over his phone. This is a lot more literal than I thought it was.
I'm going to shake myself out of polymorph. Check and see if the signet's still on the thing. Good. I got that right. Who are you?
Well, they speak, or at least one of them speaks. It's a pleasure to finally meet all four of you at the same time. Champion Xanath of Helm, Spot, Way of the Open Palm, Earth and Yarnwood. Your stories and your rebellious attitude are quite infamous. And of course, young Puck, the rider of Titans. It's good to finally meet all of you. Although, he kind of rubs at his nose, we've met before. I come by many names. But the one name that I do enjoy the most is Old Dwendalian language. You can call me Mannheim. And it's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm going to grab my sword at that point.
I would like to,
Go ahead.
I'm going to smack Earthen in the back of the head with my tail. It's like, come on, man.
Every single time we come across that name, something terrible has happened to at least one of us.
Has it? What terrible thing has my name caused?
This whole journey.
Has this whole journey been terrible?
I'm going to look at Puck. I'll let you answer that.
It's been challenging. Well, why don't you tell us what you're doing here?
No, I am here to recover something that was stolen from me a very long time. The unfortunate reality of the limitation of my power. I can only do certain things. And now that you and your friends had helped me find the Blood Vault and the original summoning cauldron of Strahd himself, I know for a fact Pendant of Creation sits inside of this Blood Vault. A thing from a long time ago, young Puck.
I'm not young, I'm just small.
No, you are quite young. I can assure you. And it's that young sense of adventure that I was hoping would come out. You are not the same person anymore, are you, Puck? You are quite changed. You're different.
We're all changed. But what remained in us is a strong belief that the changes we have seen have been at the expense of weaker people. And if you are the orchestrators of that, then you are most likely at odds with us.
Orchestration of something that life puts in front of you through choices that you've made.
Orchestration.
I have not put these things in front of you. I merely nudged, pointed, optioned, dropped hints, dropped thoughts to guide you.
So did you not bring upon the disasters of Gnomework?
No, I did not. What I did do was place 5 brave and resourceful individuals at the right place at the right time.
Oh,
You're
Spot.
Your mute, Spot.
Sorry, getting me into my acting thing there, but
We call it role play, damn it.
sorry. Okay, I gotta ask, like, one incredible, incredibly camping to another. Are you the cat lord beneath that mask? Because you feel real cat-like. Just saying.
I do appreciate the opportunity, but I have met him before. And while Timora is far more forgiving than the Cat Lord, I can assure you, I am not him.
Yeah, it's just like, this seems like the kind of, you understand, like, this is definitely the kind of, like, stuff that they would want to play with, like...
Oh, I can assure you, I was not playing with anything. I have been burdened with a task that began during the period of Primordial. Ever since I fought and defeated a creature that you know as Dominion. With his final exile outside of the celestial planes of existence, it was safe once again for me to walk Exandria, look for things that were broken, identify those things that were suffering, and throw pebbles in ponds, drop rumors in ears, give guidance in desperation. There are limits to what I'm allowed to do.
So you are not connected to lewdness?
Lewdness will stand in front of all the gods when he passes from this place. Lewdness's crimes to the divine will be his own suffering of the soul. Lewdness is beyond help.
Can I ask Xanath what read she has on him? He's saying very good things, but it doesn't seem like he would be a good person based on everything.
Can I make an insight check on him? And I guess I'm also trying to determine the divine feeling that Puck got is not coming from him, right? It's coming from something else here.
No, it's coming from him.
The divine. Okay, let me roll an insight check.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys killed one god already.
That's
You're level 20. Tis the time.
Give me a religion check with advantage.
okay. It's 21.
You've heard of encounters like this. Religious texts have recorded interludes or conversations with strange entities like this. They've always been described as avatars. Often these avatars are directly linked to godlike beings, and they use these avatars to speak or influence as they wander the world. And while they maintain some of the knowledge of their power and what they are, they can never truly coexist with the mortal world, as their immortal existence is tied to the celestial place that they come from.
Mm-hmm.
You get the distinct feeling you're talking to a god.
So, what are you asking from us, Mannheim?
Mannheim. One of many names. Alara is a name that I enjoyed for a while. There are other names that I've been. And you watch as he turns into a small mouse folk that you met on Gnomework.
God damn it.
You watch as he turns into the familiar leader of the Crimson back in the black market in Nicodranus.
Oh.
You watch as he kind of cycles through all these familiar people that you've dealt with from time to time, never in great depth, except all of you begin to realize those moments in time, significant choices were being made. And then he turns back into his avatar self. I know this may seem strange, but there are rules. And Xanath, these rules are about to catch up with you, unfortunately. But we'll get to that when we need to. You are a champion of hell. Only a creature of pure divinity, linked to a true belief of a true God, can enter this place. Enter into the blood pool and retrieve the object that we need to take home, champion of Helm.
Where is home?
Home are the plains of Celestia. Homes are where the gods linger and talk and create worlds. Home is where champions feast in halls and wait their turn and their opportunity to descend back towards the material plane and save our children yet again. That is where home is, Xanath.
Can I essentially just sort of like reach out in my mind in this moment and try to sense Helm and sense whether this is like something that he seems to be behind, like whether he's with me right now?
Not only do you feel Helm's presence, you feel the presence of dozens of his champions in kind of like the veil and vapor of this place.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thinnest you've ever seen from a standpoint of your connection with the divine. This avatar that stands in front of you is directly tapped into the divine. So its thin veil is revealing around you. And you can see the outline of a tabaxi wearing plate mail armor of Helm. You can see the outline of a half-orc wearing the chained mail armor of Cord. You can see a sly-looking human female, all in black leathers, flipping a coin of Timora, like her silhouette outlined. You just see these figures all around this avatar, representing all the different champions of the different gods, the people that have always had to make the ultimate sacrifice to make the hardest decisions, the hardest choices. And they all bear a mark or an object of their faith. A helmet, a gauntlet, a coin, a cloak, a hauberk, all of them accepting a gift of championship and the devotion of that faith to the one who gave it. Ah, you see them well, don't you, Xanath? They're here for you. They understand.
I didn't realize there were so many.
There aren't that many. Out of the millions and millions of souls that have unfurled their lifespan across Exandria and other worlds. What you see in here is not that many if you really think about it. And then a final silhouette of an elf, black armor, black wings, just radiating with feathers falling around him. These are hard choices, I understand. The world is a river that starts at the very top. The water that fills that space is cold. It warms with the journey that it travels, but it reshapes the riverbed. It reshapes the valley. It shifts the very nature of the world that it must pass through until it reaches the sea and joins the rest of us. These are not ill-fated events that you found yourselves on. I did not take away your ability to choose. I trusted in what I saw. A tabaxi of unyielding chaos, but willing to do whatever it takes to keep their friends from harm. A rebellious bard, unwilling to understand that things are changing all around them, until they were presented with the hardest choice of all. Become a god and destroy the world by destroying themselves. Stepping back from the edge of godhood is not an easy task. An elf that did her best to save her homeland. That's even a fate I could not interfere with. And a gnome lost to a world of frivolity and drunkenness and gambling and the occasional talking. It just depends on one's mood, doesn't it? Little fuck. And he kind of leans a little bit closer as he comes away from the cauldron that he's near, this huge pool in the ground. Xanath, what are you willing to do to make sure that no one else can ever try to do what we just, what you and your friends just prevented?
Anything.
He backs up from you and he casts a blessing that envelops all four of you.
I'm sorry, sir. I have just one question.
Yes, Puck.
Many have went before us and died. All that remained was their clothes that were brought back in ships. I mean, we were called a fool's errand to begin with because of the staggering amount of death that preceded us, towards a goal that was unclear at best. A promise of wealth that dwindled and became irrelevant as we went on. How does our fate factor into it? How does the fate of those who came before us factor into it? Why?
Dear Puck, did you ever actually see any of the bodies that those clothings went on?
We've heard every single person talk about their gruesome death.
Yes. There's nothing more invigorating and gets one's blood boiling when the thought of murderous people are at large, isn't it?
Well, the thought of people dying needlessly is certainly some motivation. But then why the manipulation? Somebody would have done what needed to be done.
Unfortunately, Puck, when my avatar collapses and I become a different form, I can't take my clothes back with me. They stay behind. Rumors are self-propagating. I had no hand in any of those things that occurred with the Martinet and Devon. Martinet and Devon made the choice to try to enter into the beacon without being prepared. Unlike you four being prepared to handle the situation. That stone in your chest, Puck, you see it? The fracture of the remain of the stone that you bonded with. You are half gnome and half elemental for the rest of your life. You made that choice to infuse the stone to save your friends and begin to undo what Withia and Mason were looking for. This place, that talisman, that fractured talisman that all of you had the wherewithal to not interfere with at that moment in time. But more importantly, I would not have been able to come here if it hadn't been for this fact that Spot killed the previous person. The previous version of me, that is.
So you're welcome and also sorry?
That's fine. It happens to me a lot. I've gotten used to it, actually.
Spot is just like looking around to see any indication. It's like, am I sure the catlope's not fucking with me? Because
And like as you're doing that, the Avatar Mannheim goes, "I can assure you, Spot, he's not here."
It is
okay,
just...
I mean, you gotta admit, like, this seems like the kind of stunt he would pull. So, like, please don't be mad at me for checking.
What will happen if we walk away without helping you?
The three of you will most certainly walk away. Xanath will not.
What will happen to Xanath if she helps you?
Xanath will go home. She will fulfill her promise to Helm. She will become a champion of Helm as the agreement was made. The power given to her to keep all of you safe, to keep all of you from harm, and to fight this good battle, to get rid of Mason, to get rid of Withia, to bring this final chapter of what they attempted to accomplish to a close, and to return the talisman of creation to where it belongs, was her fate.
You make it sound like she's going to die.
Oh, well, we all die. That's part of life, Puck. Eventually, some grow old and die. Some spend their entire life wandering about, never truly living, and then dying. Death is a gateway, Puck. A marker. A place that all of us pass through. Whether it's in the hands of the Raven Queen as she guides you towards the other side, or whether it's the God that you choose to put your faith in, whether you're surrounded by those that you love around your bedside, we all make that journey.
You have led us here because you needed a martyr. For a power that you claim would be safer in your hands versus lost.
I cannot touch the talisman. It is not for me to retrieve. Did you remember the statue that you saw at Gnomeworks? The statue of your friend, Xanath. Now, how did that statue exist, knowing she's not old enough to have been around when that statue was formed, when that great effigy was formed in her faith?
Xanath, wait, come back!
Got her cat out.
Don't go to the light.
Come back from the light. Come back from the light.
Xanath, it is your choice, but I don't think we want you to be gone like that. And I don't think we believe in the concept of sacrifice.
Puck.
Sensing the moment, Mannheim kind of backs away to give the four of you time.
This is the problem that I've had with deities the whole time. This is the problem that I had with all this shit. And all the way back to, I've been looking for her name in my notes for the last 5 minutes. The lizard folk princess.
All the way back to
Horvath's daughter. I got that's him. It's his
Yes.
daughter, and I can't find her name in here, and it's driving me crazy because I wanted to pull that name out.
Go find it.
I wanted to pull that name out, and I was like, oh, because I found I'm at the section, but I don't have her name. But all the way back to her. Remember, I tried everything possible, everything I could do to keep her from merging with the stone, to keep her from moving on, to keep her from sacrificing herself.
Whether or not we agree with people's choices is irrelevant to the choice sometimes. But this feels different. We don't know what its risk. We've been manipulated and led blindly. It's a lot of trust for somebody who feels like he's not disclosing everything. And worse than that, I don't think we want this journey to end in that way. I mean, there is such a vast difference between martyrdom and heroism, and we've done a good job of valuing our own existence while risking it for the sake of others. But there is a huge difference between that and just giving it to somebody.
Sure. At the same time, this is not our first go around with this situation. It's one of us now. Xanth is free to make her own decision to do this, as much as that pains me to say. As much as I fought it back on Gnomeworks, as much as I fought it on Draxelgrix, I tried to stop this every time it happened. And it was you, and it was Xanth, who so adamantly assured to me the whole time that this is the nature of things. This is the nature of sacrifice.
We never believed in the nature of sacrifice. We believed in the nature of choices.
Xanth?
I can feel right now that this is the right thing to do, and I don't want to leave you guys, but I know this isn't the end, and I'll be back, and I hope some version of me will meet you again.
You guys are gonna make me cry now.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, the daughter's name was Scolari.
Scolari, crap. Okay. I had Vasari, and I did the scout's name. I found the damn scout's name.
Yeah,
I found the daughter's name.
Yeah, Nalith was the mother, Scolari was the daughter, and then Krogath was the chieftain.
Yep, Krogath was the chief. I remember him.
Yep.
We will respect your choice, whatever it is. But I do want to make sure. What do you want to get out of it? What would make this worth, not for him, but for you?
I think following Helm, the purpose has been service, has been protecting other people, and that's what this will do. I just hope for you guys that you will continue on your incredible paths, and that would make me happy.
And the look on your face right now, Puck, is just I love it. It's so
Jesus
good.
Christ, the fuck.
So good. So
I'm
good.
like genuinely like very
This is
like emotional right now.
2 years of memories coming to a final decision. Yeah, it's real.
we will live our lives in a way that would make you proud. We will put ourselves to the services that you have put into the world. If you are a deity in that way, we will tell your story and we will deify you. But I should hope that there is another way. I mean, it's hard to think that we've been led by a string to this point. It's painful. I just hope that whatever choice you make, and it has to be your choice, that you value the world, but also value yourself and value our love to you.
It is painful, but it is a choice. I think I could walk away. I think we've had lots of opportunities to walk away. And we have decided that there was something important that meant we would continue.
Earthen walks up to Xanth and like holds out his hand. I'm not going to cast a spell, I promise. I'm past that.
I'll reach out.
I cast plate shift. I grab on his hand and I cast plate shift.
We've had our differences. We've also come a long way together. We corralled the other three and kind of tried to direct them on some sort of path of or that made sense in some way. I know you wouldn't do anything if you didn't think that it was the right thing you had to do. And how I feel about it doesn't matter. And I don't mean that I don't mean that as a dig. I mean that's you. You always do what you think is right. No matter how angry I might get at you when the deed's done.
I think we're pretty similar in that way.
As much as I don't want to believe it. Yeah. He like pulls her in for a big hug. If you see some crazy djinn out there with my name on his lips, just give me a heads up, okay?
Yeah, I'll shoot you a message. I'll just sort of cast, as a narrative point, just cast guidance on everyone before I turn back to Mannheim.
Oh, Spot doesn't get to say goodbye.
Oh, I'll give Spot a hug.
Yeah. Spot just wants to kind of go up and be like, look, I know me and your hell, we're kind of. But I don't really buy into this whole concept of fate. That seems horrifying, but if this is truly what you want, if this is truly what you think you have to do, I wish you every luck. I wish you every success, and if you ever find yourself bopping around the plains and want to peek in Oreskos, I'm sure we can find something for you there.
Thank you, Spot. I always thought you were the wisest in the group.
Wow.
Wow, Puck.
Hey,
Puck's like, you know what?
Kitty.
Fucking take her. Just take her.
So, Puck, what's your wisdom?
-5.
Which actually kind of goes in with the role play of Puck, right? Puck's
No, my wisdom is +1. It's +1. I'm not that stupid.
Puck's not naive. She's just feeling shell-shocked from what she's learning at this point. You know, so it's like, it's that feeling of, are they choices or are they fate? Which ones actually happened? Which ones actually mattered? Did the occurrence in the black market or the underground market create an opportunity of choice? Did interacting with the strange vessel that the Martinet was in charge of, was that choice or fate? Was finding the destroyed ship with all the residuum on that one lizard island and that remote island, was that choice or was that fate? Were these things choices or fate? And for the first time, Puck is feeling the full weight of Earthen's mistrust of divinity. It is on full display here. this is the very nature of divinity. It's obvious kind of like approach to its logical conclusion, but yet unable to truly physically interfere with those eventual choices, and whether or not those choices were actually made, or whether or not it was truly the fate of what happened.
It's just hard to feel like there is no choice in a way. It would be nice if there was a third choice in which we were not aware of, that included some way of securing the pendant without having to, do the whole command life through death thing, which is, apropos philosophically fraught.
I'm gonna miss philosophy club.
If you hand someone your notebook, we'll make sure to summon you for that.
We'll do divine guidance for philosophy club once a week.
I'm gonna go to Puck because I can tell that she's having trouble with this, and really awkwardly crouch, squat, kneel, but I'm not comfortable doing either of those. But to get close to the next level, not be looking down at Puck. No, I mean it's just to not be looking down at you to talk to you, but just meeting you eye level. But Earthen is really awkward at it, and I'll put my hand on your shoulder and just be like, "This is every feeling that I've had at every huge decision that's happened on this entire fucking journey. I know exactly what you feel right now. And if I'm being honest, I feel it too.
Thanks.
But whereas I didn't have this relationship with every other person that made their sacrifice. This is Xanth's decision.
I agree. It's not up to us. It's up to you. Can we ask Mannheim one more time if there is any other option? I mean, he appears to be some kind of god of fate and decisions. Maybe there is an option number 3 that he just hasn't considered telling us yet.
We do have rope. We could tie rope to her feet and let her dive in. And when she pulls the rope, we'll pull it back out, right?
There has to be another option. We couldn't have been led out here just for Xanath to die. I know that death will have a lot of meaning, but it's hard to accept.
It's almost like Mannheim is on the edge of your guys' conversation that you're having, saying your goodbyes and doing your concerns and this frustration. And Mannheim kind of clears his throat. A young buck and everyone else, I know that this may feel awkward, but there is another choice you can make. You can choose to walk away. You can simply leave and go live your lives. And I will sit here and I will wait until another comes. But while I sit here and wait, others will begin to learn of this story. Others that are manipulated by the betrayer gods in such a way, they may choose to find me first. They have their champions too. This fight could end here and now, this day. The decision you make this day could save everyone, or continue to put them at risk. You're right. There's always a third choice. It tends to be actually the hardest choice of the 3.
What is the third choice?
You can leave.
Fuck.
It's Anna's
Do you
choice.
remember what Nalari said? I fought with her and argued with her, and it was all in front of everybody. Do you remember what she said before she went to make her peace? She said, "This isn't death. This is just moving on to another plane."
Like I said, it is beyond my scope or understanding. One person in particular was led to here, and whatever she chooses, we will support and we will tell her tale and we will do what needs to be done. But I just hope that in that choice, you consider yourself as well as everything else, that you put yourself in that equation. That's all.
I think that I'm ready.
Puck gives you a hug.
Give you a
Waist size hug, like a toddler hug, running into it.
I will get it in short. Emotional moments.
Spot just kind of picks him up, just kind of, it's like, here you go, just tight.
Zadith, champion of Helm, the Freya of the Gnomework, aiding in destroying Mason, bringing down with you with your companions. Your faith has held true. The champions stand here around you. Shall we walk together?
I'm gonna silently send one quick message to my parents. Then I'm gonna say I'm ready.
You interlock arms with Mannheim, and he starts to walk with you towards the edge of the pit. You know, I've done this before, but never have I seen such love and devotion from friends. You should be very proud of them and yourself. And the whole time that they're slowly descending into the pool of radiant glow of red light, and you could just hear Mannheim continue like all old men do. Now, let me tell you about this one time. There was this comet that was coming, and they just he's just kind of like quietly chatting with her as they both descend into the pit and disappear.
That's a terrifying scene to see in the background with her just having. We failed! Oh no!
Let's take a 5-minute break.
Jesus Christ.
Take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll do some epilogues, talk about the journey, and welcome Alexa back, and then we'll briefly talk about campaign number 2. So we will be right back, everybody. Oh, hot. Come on. Oh, they just let you in here, didn't they? They just let you in here. Oh, perfect.
Short. kids. And we're working on adults. Okay. Let's get you feet indicated. We're going to go over here so I can actually see. Because that has caused some issues. Yeah.
Hold you up. Now we lose. Oh. You okay, Puck? She's like, no, I'm not.
No.
I realized I put up the wrong picture. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
I'm like, you guys aren't in a city. You're out in the middle of the ocean.
Just bam, we're in the city.
As you stand on the deck of the ship, with the rocky protrusion kind of off in the distance, the wind, sound of the water, the three of you standing amongst the surviving crew that you were involved with. Other ships have already begun to go their own way, but as you stand there watching the rock recede and realizing this part of your lives is coming to a conclusion, you hear the gentle thud of vessels coming along the side of the vessel, of the ship that you're on. Familiar voices, familiar looking people. As the Voik clan leaders climb on board the ship, a familiar lore keeper standing there patiently. All of them looking at Earthen. The lore keeper approaches Earthen, kind of straightens the crown on his head. Are you ready to go? Much work to do.
Much work and more. I turn I turn to Puck first. We might stay in the Isles as kind of a home area, but with that map of yours, I think you'll always know where to find me.
She gives Earthen a hug. She kind of jumps up, so it's more eye level.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't think I can stay here after this, but I'm happy we were able to go through this journey together, and I will see you again.
We've got a little organizing and straightening up to do, but I think we'll manage.
Doesn't sound like me and Spot. But you
So Spot's going to motion Earthen over, like, come here. You have a lot of work to do, and all right, like, I feel like this kind of belongs more with you. Just give you guys as much of a head start, give you as good a chance as I can. I'm going to dig out my Cauldron of Heroes Feast and just kind of drop it in his, well, frankly, I want to drop it on his toes because I'm a monster. Oh, oops!
Yeah, steel toe boots, buddy. I learned from you.
Just,
years, and they're still bickering like an old married couple.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Thanks, Spot. I'm like looking over at the Void to pick it up because my strength is like a -3.
I wanted to just make hard eye contact with whatever Voik is about to do this. Just like, you guys are a warrior culture. This is. I'm so sorry.
You know, they did see me turn into a giant dragon and do some cool shit like that. So this form is weak, though.
You guys, stop it already! And then she comes in and she pushes them together to a hug.
Oh.
As we step out of the hug, I pull out the braces of deflection that we've had, you know, that no one ever used. But I look at it like,
level 20.
Right. You know, but I know you don't need this. I know you don't need this, but if you ever find yourself with a follower, with you as their mentor, they might.
Earthen, I appreciate that, and I'm gonna I have plans, and they're probably gonna terrify you, so you might wanna, I'll find a good use for these. All right, but I mean, like
no red swords and yellow eyes, and we'll be okay, right?
Right. But tell your wife and children hello. I'm not gonna be there to smack you upside the head, so she's got to take that over again.
It's
a heavy responsibility, but
I don't think she'll have a problem doing that. I'll make sure that we check in on you.
Okay. Oh god, that's going to be terrifying in a couple of years.
And
okay.
Puck. So we'll have something to keep in contact through, whether it's Scry or whatever else we use. And I take off the Ring of Fly.
Aww.
This thing came in super handy. So much. And now that you can ride on something that flies through the air, it can, be your safety.
Oh, that's really thoughtful. Thank you, Earthen.
Fuck, I could. Why don't we?
Looking
not
for
to
something to give
fate,
people.
but
I turn back around. Go ahead.
You know what?
I turn back around to the Voik, and I'm like stretching and looking at it.
I know you're not a fan of the divine. And frankly, neither am I. Certainly not at this point. But you seem to have forged a special connection with him, and I give him the Erebos coin. Theoretically, if he does ever stop showing up, this should buy your favor at least once.
Thank you, Puck.
In spots, I'm going to give you this really beautiful hand-drawn thing that looks like a 7-year-old did it. because I don't think any of my actual stuff that I can give are worth much. But it's like the two of us holding hands and like jumping.
Aww. So I got that and the crime friends. It's like I treasure these. Just kind of sitting there like.
The one thing I do want to do before we leave, I think I still have the Chaos Orb, and we've used it once to get the plant from the Fae. I assume it's been over 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Can we use it to see if we can summon something to tell us whether or not Xanath is happy where she is?
Oh, I like that idea. As you guys are done saying your goodbyes to Earthen, Earthen stalls the lore keeper just long enough for Puck to hold the Chaos Orb out. And you kind of hold on to it. And you're holding on to it so hard it kind of shakes. And when you look at it, there's a floating something inside of it. And you just see this smiley face looking back up at you.
Well, so long as she's happy.
Sorry, sir, but we must go.
Understood. Well, so long, fucks.
Forever.
Waiting forever to say it, you know?
Watch as Earthen goes over the railing. And then you're watching as his Voik ship starts to peel away from the others. The other Voiks following, each of them raising their standard. The elk, the bear, and all the different clans that you were involved with. And the bare mast of the Voik ship that Earthen is on raises. And you see the long standard of the dragon clan being flown for the first time in well over 100 years, if not longer. Eventually, out of sight.
I would also.
You really did disappear out of sight.
What?
I'll say I'd also take minor illusion and just cast the symbol that Erebos put on my.
Oh, the Erebos symbol on it as well. Yeah.
Like put that above the ship as we're sailing off.
Yeah. Okay.
She disappeared again.
I did focus my cat back on her food.
Right. Leaving just two on the deck of the ship.
I just want to kind of look at Puck and goes like, now that Earthen's gone, just like, oh thank God, the responsible ones are out of here, and I can just say this. Puck, I love you. This has been great. When we make landfall, I'm getting more drunk than Tabaxi has ever been. I'm waking up in a stranger's bed. I prefer if they're furry. I don't care that much.
I prefer if they're furry, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I love it. it.
I am finding whatever I came here for. Like I think I've earned a week's vacation, and then I'm going home. Oh my God. Oh.
Spot, of all the Tabaxis in the world, you are the fucking best. I love you so much. I could have not asked for a better crime friend. At some point, we will do a heist together. We will steal something of great value, and then we will distribute it to people who deserve it more.
See, I need you to come back to Rescos with at some point, because, like, I mean, I know that there's people. No one's gonna believe half the shit I did. Like,
I will corroborate.
I killed a god. It's like I threw a vampire into a mountain that was also a lot. No one believes that. Like,
no, they will when I go in there, and I will corroborate every detail. And if you need to embellish some, I will be there to hype that as well.
All right, but for God's sake, I know you're not a human, so I apologize for. Humans are just weird. Like, I'm going. I'm getting more drunk than any Tabaxi has ever been. I got to get back at some point to open up my. Oh God! Oh, this has been a tough 48 hours.
You have proved me wrong. You are the coolest monk to ever monk in the universe.
Aww. I mean, yeah, Chaos Monk's pretty cool. But yeah, by all means, like, please look me up. like you were a cruel friend. Like I don't want to say anything against Xanth or Winter. I mean, definitely Earth, because I mean, he's been like fuck that guy. But okay, so
what happened to our sentimental goodbyes?
oh, we don't have that. Like I'm a cat. Have you met cats? But yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Come look me up because it might be a little weird because again, I don't understand humans at all. I assume that this is some weird cultural thing. You've been the only one that has kind of recognized that I don't really have this concept of gender, but like I'm mature enough now. I'm going home after this 48 hours. There's like this week of like just a horrible bender. Going back, I'm going to reopen the open pot temple we have. I'm going to use my skills, like maybe invite some Way of Mercy people in there to form a kitchen for the needy, a training school for me, like the young me's there.
I'm needy.
Yeah, I'm going to find. I don't know. I'm almost. I don't know what this would be in Gnome. Like I have no like. You're like 9,000 years old, right?
I'm young for a gnome, but like old for a person.
Okay, because I'm a tabaxi. I am really edging up on 30, so I think I kind of want to like. I mean, maybe not like settle down. I am still a cat, but I think I kind of want to meet a nice Tom, have a litter or two before I'm like while I can still handle them, and then just So, man, but yeah, it's been. Absolute pleasure seeing you. I'm going to treasure my little stuffies in this painting. Oh, wait. And I want to give Puck the like animating paint that we got from the one guy.
Yeah. From the Mimic Mansion.
Yeah, the Mimic Mansion guy. So, but all means, look me up when you get back. Yeah,
we will see each other again, and I cannot wait to see a dojo that you created. And a family that you created. I will be the most annoying aunt you've ever seen.
That's fucking rad. Also, I know you're not a Scott's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Don't read what Earth is writing. It'll just drive you crazy.
So, wait a minute. Puck, I gotta ask, like, I know that, like, you're not a human. You don't share a lot of their cultural norms and whatever. But I gotta ask because you're the cool one here. Humans are like weird, right? Because we went through this many times. My culture doesn't recognize gender. Arthur saw me naked and still kept referring to me as he. Are all cats boys in this world? Like that's just like.
Listen, after all the mysteries we've uncovered, the one mystery that remains is the human mind and its limitations pertaining to gender.
You guys hear a feminine voice yelling across the way. Hello? Sorry, is there a... hi, I'm Jester, by the way. Do you know of a tabaxi that goes by the name of Spot?
Ooh, that's me. Here.
One of your monk friends said that you might be going our way. Would you like to join us?
Okay. When are you heading out? Because I was explaining to my friend here, I need to get more drunk than Tabaxi has ever been.
Don't worry. Ford has plenty of booze. You could get drunk on our ship on the way.
Oh,
come on.
That's
come with
okay.
Us.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry, Puck. Yeah.
Puck,
no more long goodbyes.
I starts grabbing his bag and he does his cool tobacco, his monk shit. He's literally sprinting across the surface of the water because monks could do that shit. And then immediately kind of like climbs up the side and gets into the ball eater. And you watch as Jester just gives you that big white smile of her teeth. And sorry, but it just seemed like a good idea. But you have fun with what you do. Wasn't that fun? That was a good time. I bye. And she's just kind of like waving at you, and you watch as the ship kind of careens away as you lose track of Spot.
Oh, No, it's just me and my animals again. Okay, so it's a last-ditch effort. Can I do primeval awareness for celestials to see if her presence is at all still around us?
You don't get the feeling that her presence is around you. You get the feeling that you're in a fog of celestial awareness. Almost as if something is slowly closing behind you.
Okay.
You can feel the presence of many that have gone through what Xanath has gone through. And while you're watching the last of the Voik ships recede into the horizon, see the Ball Eater get further away, you feel a familiar hand around your waist. It's Sibo. Well, where would you like to go, Puck? We could go to Gnomeworks. We could go to the Menagerie Coast. Do you want to go home? We could take you home if you'd like to go home.
No, I don't think I'm ready. I think 2 things are on my to-do list. The first one is to throw a pea balloon on someone who has it coming. And yeah, no, I'm not ending this without throwing a pea balloon at Caleb. Okay, we've been through this. I don't care how emotional this is. And after that, then we'll be even. So in a way, it's the noble thing to do.
I apologize. I'm not really sure what a pea balloon is.
It's a euphemism.
Oh. So you want to pee on Caleb?
No, I'm just gonna...
No?
Whatever, you get it.
It's fine. We'll figure it out on our way.
Actually, I think I need some time on my own again. I think I'm gonna continue to treasure my time exploring this world. For all that I've seen, I know that there is so much more I haven't. And I think while I'm here in my limited ticking clock, I would like to find a way to get out of my deal. So when I die, I can be free. So for now, this will be goodbye. Please do release the sister of the Bright Queen. She seemed very miserable and sorry.
I will do what I can.
It was great knowing you, Zebo. Thank you again for saving my life.
You too, Puck.
Giving her a hug and then flying first to throw a pea balloon at Caleb and then to the horizon.
So as you climb aboard lunch, you could see the bright red hair of Caleb over on the Ball Eater. So you backtrack, and just as you have lunch, kind of hover over briefly, and something drops. And as you careen away, you hear that, "What the fuck was that?"
Now we're even, bitch!
And
then I fly.
You and lunch kind of going off into the horizon. There's journeys, and then there's adventures.
And there's errands.
And then there's errands. Not all fools are made alike. 10 years go by. And in the soft, quiet ocean, a ship sailing in the open sea. On board, unfamiliar individuals. This vessel loaded with travelers from the different seaways that make up the Lucidian Sea. But yet, they pass by a rock, sticking out of the water in the middle of nowhere. And every boat that takes this route tells the same story. A face, silhouette carved mysteriously into this rock, spanning many hundred feet high. And it's said that every time you pass by this rock, you can make a wish or an oath or a promise, and it will come true. Many have visions. Many come away from the site feeling remade, feeling whole again. On this particular day, small children look past the railing at this large sea elf image resplendent in helm armor. And on the very brow of this image, some even swear they could see a silhouette of a strange cat person, kind of waving their feet, kind of lost in thought, as yet another boat passes by. Then a voice on the deck of the ship calling out to the kids. Children, come back. Come back to your Uncle Mannheim. I have a story to tell you about 5 wonderful people that made very difficult choices. And that's where we're going to finish. That is the end of our campaign. Holy buckets, that was so cool. That was cool. Puck, you are far too sweet for sugar. Let me tell you what, man. That was awesome.
That was
awesome.
Xanath sacrificed herself. That was painful. What the fuck?
Guys, I cried through the whole break. I was just like,
it's funny because when we get to tell these stories to each other and live them out, you go all the way back to almost a little over 2 years ago when we started. We had no memories yet, but notes and recaps and the RP that you do kind of form and become those memories that we're so eager to get when we play these fun games like this, when we're so into the idea of a life's journey done in a very short period of time, theoretically, but then getting a life's worth of memories from our characters out of it. Like Spot was completely transformative by the end. I felt Puck was very transformative by the end because she was very different at the beginning and became something very different at the end. Earthen with his rebellious causes, but finally shown what unguided rebellion could look like, was very kind of, I think, finally that great reflective opportunity for Earthen's character. And then Xanath getting the opportunity to make the ultimate sacrifice, which is what it means to become a champion of the gods. It was a fun journey. It was fun. And for everybody out there, campaign number 2, next Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel. You guys go ahead and linger.
Yay!
And I'll tease this much. The name of the next campaign is The Crucible. It takes place in Drusar in Marquette. I'm just saying, get a lot of your criminal accents ready because we're going crime land, folks. We're going criminal. We're going thieves guild. We're going heists, thefts. We're doing all the things that criminals like to do, steal shit. And
now, one man criminal is another man's best friend.
Now, Storyteller, there better be an orange tabaxi that just pops up in the background of this at some point.
It would be like Finding Waldo every campaign, Spot is somewhere.
And since Brian will be joining us, the 5 of you are in like your darkest hour, and then it's going to be full Conan, and this Valkyrie of Xanath appears. Do you want to live forever? Yes, I do. I really do. All right, everyone. Be kind, be safe, and don't forget, play a game. We'll see you next week for Zero Session. Good night, everybody. You guys go ahead and linger.